Hello, everybody. I am Meghaangee Chakrabarti,
And I'm Mike Chaudhary.
and today we are here to discuss a very important topic, the transition of books from ebooks to electronic books. So, as we know, it is a
Electronic books, yeah.
very important thing that is happening, and it has seen a rapid pace and has taken a rapid pace in the recent years, especially after COVID-19. What do you think about it,
Yeah, surely it has changed from rapidly after COVID-19 because COVID-19 was a point of time which really took a drastic change in the future for the future of ebooks as well. This is one thing we could say because mostly people were quarantined in their own houses, and I believe ebooks was the best solution for it. To read books online
Yeah,
chronically.
totally. Ebooks being
So yeah.
actually the drastic change if we see the graph. The sites like Wattpad and other e-media sites also took a very big hike in these ages, at least in COVID-19, because you see parcels weren't coming
Yeah.
exactly the normal traditional way. We weren't able to go out of the houses, we were locked. So I think that was the time it actually took a hike, right? Like, what are your opinions on it?
I mean, honestly saying Kindle was one of the apps which I used for reading, and it was like, it was a sort of app which I used almost in every aspect of my life during COVID because it was so beneficial because there were so many features like reading it almost since you're reading it online, but again then the feel of reading the book is like it does not strain your eyes and whatsoever. They have a lot of features like that. So yeah, Kindle was one of the books which was really I mean the apps which was really influenced me, like mostly to read more books online chronically.
Yeah, it is also a
But yeah.
misconception. You just cleared a very big misconception that reading from Kindle actually reduces your eyesight and all. I think that is a very big misconception that people tend to have a lot.
No,
Like
it does not necessarily. It
oh,
does not
yeah,
necessarily.
I also personally believe so as
I
well.
mean, currently,
Yeah,
yeah, surely. Like, I mean, currently we are living in a generation where there are a lot of technological improvements, honestly. So I believe there are so many features which could almost I mean, of course, you'll not get the physical feel, but then appearance-wise, it can really help you, like just like reading a normal book, that is.
yeah,
So yeah.
totally. For me, like, I'll be very honest, apps like Wattpad and Noveltoon actually has helped me a lot. Like, what we English literature students usually do, we are asked to be exposed to an entire environment, while actually the print media, the old traditional media, tends to focus on a very small things, very small and actually caters to a very minority of
Yeah.
people. Most of my preferences are usually found on apps like Wattpad. You know, I personally believe that Wattpad and other apps usually provide a better, in many cases, better reading experiences, especially in their English as well.
Just look at it. Just look at it. Like you can fit like a thousands of books in just a single device. It's like so portable. It's like so travel friendly. You can carry it anywhere possibly. Read any book you want. Like for example, if I would give like an example of like Becoming by Michelle Obama also. It's widely available on Kindle, which I've read, and it's one of the good books, like the good quality of books you can read as a person. I searched for the book, but I did not get it. But Kindle really helped me. So I believe ebooks are really beneficial.
Yeah, to be very honest, there are like from apart from the known books as well, there's some of the most of the K dramas and the C dramas, J dramas we actually tend to see all those like dramas like The Summer I Turned Pretty. Everything was first actually initiated on Wattpad.
Yeah.
They were all like small authors who actually got pulled into a bigger platform. Like you know how big Summer I Turned Pretty was, and you know this all started from these apps like Wattpad and Noveltoon from where they actually take up, which is actually very good because given the economic circumstances, many a times what happens is small authors cannot actually confront.
Yeah,
We,
yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, publishing cost is very expensive, honestly, and
of
ebooks
course.
really give an opportunity for these authors to at least do something with their, creativity and their art of writing and whatsoever.
Yeah, and
So
on
yeah,
top of that, it is free, no? You actually don't need to pay
yeah,
charges, and there's
cheaper
nobody
and instant
actually.
access. Like you can get books like for cheap, or there are some books which are absolutely free. Perhaps which you have to buy it, like physically. Yeah, and yeah, like instant access as well. Like you see, like you don't need to like specifically go to libraries, search for the books, search for the racks or something. You can just search the book online, any app platform you're using to read ebooks. Yeah, so I believe, yeah, it is beneficial in terms of cheaper and instant access, access as well. And yeah, it really gives a good platform for
On
you know
top of that, there's just something worth mentioning. There's not always, when on a publishing house, what happens is like there's always a editor on top of it. So it's never your raw ideas that actually come in front. It might be like a completely different thing when it is published. You might have a completely different, the author might have a completely different perspective, and what is being published might not actually be the original thing.
yeah,
You never know. Now that is something that Wattpad and other these apps actually help you to remove. That's like removing the middleman from publishing, and still
yeah,
you get a lot
absolutely.
of community. Like majority, look at people, they tend to have Wattpad on their Wattpad, the orange app, that's what we call it, the orange app in the phones. Like everybody has it, and it is actually
Yeah,
astonishingly
definitely.
surprising,
Yeah.
not only because of COVID, but
Definitely, yeah, because
also.
it's as I mentioned my previous point, portability, that is, thousands of readers, past millions and lakhs of readers, they, as a population, everyone does not has the access to physical books every time. So of course, apps, platforms like Waterpad, Kindle, Apple Books as well, Google Books as well, they provide an easy access, whatsoever. So yeah, it's like mostly used by the majority of population. Yeah.
On top of that, they're economic friendly, pocket friendly. You tell me one thing. There's a book series that will at least cost you 600 to 700. For us students who actually need to save some money because we are living far away from home and all, it actually becomes very difficult for us to get us as a physical books. That is where these apps actually play a very huge big role.
Definitely, yeah.
Like it actually helps us a lot. Like you tell me, I can actually go to any archive, like archive.org, any of these platforms, and they'll give me that same edition, same copy, that book. So why not? And on top of that, it is so convenient. It's
Exactly.
just one device that you need to carry, not those big motor books. They're not big fat books
Definitely,
that we need to
it is
carry.
convenient. Yeah, like even for a simple example, yeah, like even for a simple example, I would give, like I belong from the northeastern part of India, right? So there are some certain books which are created by small authors, definitely, which are not found in states like here, of course, because they are not so widely published, chronically. But then honestly, platforms, these ebook platforms whatsoever, they are really beneficial in this case, because even though I am like about 1,000 kilometers far from my state, yet I can still read the books which I truly admire about those local books and whatsoever, because they are found online. So
Hmm.
yeah, ebooks are actually very beneficial in terms of this as well.
Yeah, and totally I agree with you on that point. And on top of that, small authors may not always get chances. These platforms actually provide them like huge chances for that. And on top of that, how diverse is that? How diverse it is. The community is. You tell me they have every genre. Just name, for example, just name two vampire books. You only know two vampire books that have actually been published in the forefront. That is, one is Vampire Diaries and the other one is Twilight, to be very honest. But if you go to these communities as well, you'll find thousands of books on these topics, and one better than the other. You just need to know how to use the tool, don't you think?
Yeah, surely. You just need to know how to use it too. And like honestly, even if you're talking about this, we could also consider the fact that even environmental benefit is there through ebooks, if you realize, because when someone is printing, books, when they're printing books, they are actually using, printing those. And for that, we know how the process works, right? How the papers have been, received and whatsoever. So ebooks generally, we could say that they reduce the amount of paper used, and also the printing needs. So it's actually eco-friendly in a long-term process as well, you could say.
Yeah. In the age of global warming, where every tree matters, it is actually very helpful. Some
Yeah,
parents might actually object to this because of eyesight, but I don't think find that much of a problem, as we can tackle that with Kindle and all those platforms as well. You just need to have controlled reading for that, and not sometimes not even controlled reading. You just need to have the right tool for it. And
yeah,
I, to be very honest, Kindles is very affordable as well, I guess, right?
it is
It's,
affordable. I mean,
it's like a one-time investment.
yeah, yeah, surely. Like, and then Kindle also provides so many offers and whatsoever, which could also, like availing this offers could also save you, money as well. So you can say it's not even costly. It's like it's convenient in a way, you could say, for people who don't want to spend, money in an extent. So it's kind of convenient for them as well. Yeah.
Yeah. On top of that, what I personally like and appreciate about these apps, they have actually given platforms to communities, suppressed communities, and actually also given authors the freedom to actually think, ideate. That is what we want in our generation. The creativity idea, Omega verse, name verse, has actually given such a big, diverse platform to LGBTQ community as well, don't you
Yeah,
think?
it does. Surely it does.
Because after this it has actually widely spread, especially after COVID, and the increase in use of apps, such apps. There's actually authors who have published such books also tend to come up front because many a times what happens, there are homophobic stereotypical author publishing house which tend to ignore their writing, which is very bad on that part. But also Wattpad actually, and the community of Wattpad tends to give them this. And on top of that, what is most important, it is interactive. Wattpad communities are so
Yeah, yeah,
interactive.
it is interactive. Yes.
It is very interactive.
It is
It's,
interactive, of course, of course.
yeah, it is like you getting to comment, you getting to ideate along with the author. What
I mean,
better can it be?
you can actually communicate with thousands of readers online. Having a physical book does not necessarily mean that you will find your people always. But then through online, you can do that. You can give your opinions, you can get suggestions and whatsoever. It's truly beneficial regarding that matter of fact as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. On top of that, it is so interactive. Like you see a physical book, it's just like text, sometimes pictures. But you see a Kindle read book. Maybe I'm not very sure about Kindle, but at least Wattpad read books. They have music in their backgrounds. They have read alouds for them. I think Kindle too has a read aloud the option as well. And there's GIFs, GIFs, pictures, making it so interactive and fun. And it is like the community itself, the followers, not
Yeah,
only increasing the suspense of it, while the followers not only tend to get suspense, they not only have that adrenaline rush of suspense that the authors tend to create when there's this update more option, but also you giving your opinions about it and asking questions directly, and authors actually responding to the question is such a good factor, don't you think?
yeah, it is. Surely it is. Yeah. I have nothing to say wrong about it. Definitely it is.
Yeah, my entire Wattpad journey has always been very interactive that way and so diverse. That is what we literature students have been asked to read, not to stick to the conventional methods of reading, but to go beyond it. Maybe not read between the texts, but of course, going beyond the normal understanding and the fixed genres that they provide. There is this one genre, queer verse and all those genres, that are actually this very limited to Wattpad and other online platforms are only like werewolves. Have you actually seen a werewolf book being published? But of course, dramas being created is like, yeah, that is, it also gives us opportunity, you know. It gives opportunity direct for front to
Yeah,
amazing
surely
stories.
does.
And over the time, I believe that
Yeah, it
the
surely does.
quality
Yeah.
of publishing has actually decreased so much. Don't you agree? Like the books that are published to an extent, they have reduced. Their rhetorics, be it rhetorics, be in their dramatic creativity, it is like all trying to follow that same trend, not denying the fact that Wattpad too follows those trends, and maybe Kindle and other apps too follow those trends. But I think there's more creation opportunities in these platforms compared to publishing houses, don't you think?
Yeah, it surely does. It surely does. I mean, like before, people had, they had problems regarding how, ebooks, they strain, their eyes. It causes them discomfort. It causes them fatigue whatsoever. But now I believe, I believe that there have been a lot of changes now in this current time being we are speaking about, and there has been a lot of solutions, considering to the matter of fact that it strains their eyes and everything, causes them to be in a fatigue state or whatsoever. I believed, ebooks have really changed by the time, as the world is changing, ebooks in their manner of in their platform wise, they have also significantly changed. And there are many readers who used to, they prefer books physically, but now, due to the convenience, many of them, of course, you won't get the physical feel, you won't get the the feel of it, definitely, but then still it's like convenient for them. It definitely is convenient for them. Of course, it will take time to for for the older generations to adapt to it, but I believe it's not that bad. Honestly, it's not that bad. All I believe everyone can read ebooks. Honestly, everyone.
To be very honest, there are certain apps to actually imitate the paper feel texture, maybe not the smell and the scent of a library, but of course, like there's a new device that is called paper tab. It tries to imitate the feel of paper. So reading on that will be so like reading on that will be like actually reading a book, don't you think?
Yeah,
Of
surely.
course, with the advancing technology, I find the prospect growing. And maybe somewhere down the line, we'll also be able to find a solution of the eye strains that these older generations tend to be so afraid of. Because you see,
I mean, I believe the
capsules.
solution of the eye strain, yeah, it is possible. Of course, with a weaker eyesight. I used to not very much prefer ebooks in the past, but now that, a sort of lot of changes have been, like, as I'm talking about the platform which I read the most, Kindle, it really does provide, features through which you can comfortably read for a long, steady period of time as well. And it does not strain your eyes as well. So solutions are always found, when problems are created, problems are, when they are searched, solutions are always found. So I believe, yeah, ebooks are beneficial actually, this matter of fact, because now that I read ebooks, I don't find the eye strain.
Yeah, on top of that, to be very honest, I personally believe if we look into it, there are many people who actually tend to question like how the intellectual property rights and all those, because you see Wattpad communities and many other such communities actually tend to collaborate. Yeah, right. Try to collaborate with various authors, two authors working on a single book. Has happened. These cases are not new. So people, I think, people tend to this. So what people don't know, that Wattpad also has their own set of copyrights. The those authors who actually work on the book together, they everything becomes split. Everything gets split. Maybe the appreciation, the money they
Yeah,
earn, everything.
there's
That's proper. This is a very big myth that
I
people
mean,
tend to.
there's no,
Like we just have actually busted a myth. It is very
For
wrong
the
that
modern authors also.
mm, yeah, it is like it has actually been seen so frequently that people tending to question the intellectual property rights or the copyright. Where is it? The physical books actually give us those rights. But then again, this is a completely different community. People adapt to it. People adapt, and what people believe that they do not have rights on those platforms is actually ironical to an extent. It is funny how people are so ignorant on that part. Like, mm, your points on that?
I mean, rights are actually maintained. If you are talking about it, rights are actually maintained because thievery of content is not something which is currently seen in the modern books of in the modern books. If you are talking about the ebooks, that is, there are a lot of rules and regulations and restrictions whatsoever. So thievery is not something which it could be done easily. So if the authors who feel they should go to ebooks, but they're concerned about the fact that their content might be stolen by some author, I don't think so that is something which is very happening,
Not
I
a
believe,
concern, I would say.
because it yeah, it's not a concern, to be honest, because they have their thing, the ebooks, the rules and regulations and whatsoever, they have their thing. So it's not something which should be worried about.
Yeah, and many people also tend to worry about the diversity. Like we have already answered those questions, don't you think? The diversity factor and being that I think we have answered almost all the questions that major stereotypical stereotype is trying to
Yeah,
get. That is what these actually ebooks has actually done for all of us, exposing us to an environment where actually we are being challenged to an extent. Don't you think? Like me getting to
surely.
be an author, you also getting to be an author, everybody having the
Everybody
having
gets it.
equal opportunities. We tend to profess equal opportunities, and now we are actually getting them. Don't you think?
I mean, you can just see in the current world, right? How many people they actually have their, who are actually very confident about writing something and then eventually publishing it in a big extent, that is, and because they don't give you they don't give you confirmation whether they actually will benefit from that after publishing or whatsoever, because you never know. Things might be good, things might turn out to be bad as well. But ebooks, in this matter of fact, they give them opportunities because it's not necessarily very expensive at this matter of fact. And for the beginning authors, they can always give that try, even if even if one of their publishing is not that great, the second one can always be great. Yeah. So they get the opportunity for it, and it provides them the confidence as well for the new generation authors to publish something online
Yeah, and
because it's
they
easier.
can be anonymous as well. You know, many people are very afraid to actually show their true identity. Most of us are. We all go with fake names in writing, in medias like that. So because we just want to publish our ideas, we want to share our ideas, not do bring it into business or something. We don't want, usually many people don't want fame for it and try to stay anonymous, keeping their private lives to themselves. I'll give Bounded for an example. We don't know who Precious Bun is. Actually, she's like an anonymous author, but she is such a good author. Like, we appreciate her, and this actually keeps your personal private life away from your social life as well, to an extent, don't you think?
Yeah, sure, it does.
It does, yeah. So that makes all of us bursting the myth busters, I guess. The myths on
Yeah.
ebooks that people tend to have. So thank you everybody for viewing our video.
Thank you everybody for seeing our video, and I hope these opinions kind of help you in some matter of fact.
To an extent to actually destroy these myths that many people have. And I hope you too
Yeah.
can find a book of your choice on that. So thank you. Good
All right,
night.
sure.